So for the ACJ exam, I would say radiology makes a big chunk of the exam. Plus, it's something that students may find it new, or something that's new to some foreign students. In other countries, we don't rely on radiology for diagnosis much. We do a lot of diagnosis clinically, and we diagnose a lot. I mean, in like a lot of third world countries, people come or people visit a dentist when there's pain. That's the truth, and when there's a symptom. Here in Canada, it's mainly a lot of diagnosis is preventive. We're always being proactive. We're taking x-rays before anything happens. So we focus a lot on radiology and on diagnosing caries in their early stages. So learning radiology and how to diagnose using x-rays is a new thing for a lot of dentists, and it could be one of the things that, since it's a big chunk of the exam, could be the most thing that they find troubling. Adding to that is just the concept that you don't have to perfect the ACJ exam. When you try to get 100% all the time everywhere, what you often do is you try to answer all the options that you think are possibilities, and you end up answering an incorrect one, and you lose the whole mark for that question. Whereas if you just chose maybe 3 out of 4 that you were sure of and just let go of that 4th option, you would have got either 100% of the mark or 3/4 of the mark, and that's okay too. So another thing is trying to perfect it. When you come from the AFK, in the AFK, you're either getting the question or you're not getting the question. So you're used to that mentality of answering the question perfectly or not. So in the ACJ, you're trying to do the same thing. You're looking at a question, you're trying to get 100% of that question, and you're trying to answer that question perfectly, and that's what could cause you to over answer and answer a wrong option, then lose the mark. So one of the things is allowing yourself not to get 100% in all the questions, and being very wise and with your risks in the ACJ.